Out here at the Weverton lock. It's a nice place to park. I'll spin around here a little bit so you can see it behind me. It's kind of at the corner of a road. But also there's a railroad crossing and you have to watch out for the train. Well, we're going to go over and make our walk today, our hike. In this parking area, we'll swing around and this is where we go, through the gate. Turn to the right and this is where we have to cross the tracks. Definitely look up and down. Stand here at the crossing, we'll look up, swing and look down. You see the lock house there on the right, but they'll blow the horns when the trains come, so be careful. One will go. Cross the tracks or come through the gate and there's the towpath. We'll look over into the canal, there's some water in it, and listen to the peepers. They're singing their song. With the peepers behind me, we're going to get ready for our walk. We're going to head upstream, up toward the 340 bridge. Oh, we see another one of those counter boxes. I assume that's what they are. We saw one near Shepherdstown. As we hit the towpath, we see, of course, the regular signs. We'll walk in on them here so you can read it. It's Weverton mile 58. It's the typical map, but we also have a post. 2 white lines, that means turn. This is part of the Appalachian Trail. Now we'll see some of these markers as we go, but this is the first one that we'll encounter. As we walk up the canal, the peepers are over there singing for us. Let's listen to their song. Looking into the woods off the side of the canal, we can see it looks like a gully coming up. This was the location of an informal overflow, also known as the mule drink, because it would flow over the top of the canal to help keep the level the same, and the mules would stop there and get a drink as they went by. Here's another feature, another one of the Appalachian Trail markers, straight ahead. We've come up to a culvert. It's number 93. Take a look across here. Here's the downhill side draining toward the Potomac. This is culvert 93. It has Israel Creek running through it. It's got a 20-foot wide span, and Israel Creek drains Pleasant Valley. Not only does it flow, we can hear falling water in there. I don't know if we're going to be able to get a picture of it. We do note that this has regular chinking and none of the rope chinking that we've seen below us. We climbed around to the other side of the culvert, culvert 93, here on the downhill side, to see if we can get a look up the culvert. Here we're getting a look toward the Potomac. So we'll see what we get here. I think I'm going to get my feet wet. I see an underwater ledge that I'm going to go to try and step on. Alright, can we see through? We see daylight? I won't know till I get home and check the film. Hopefully. And I'm sure you could tell, so you'll know before I do. We're on top of culvert 93 on the berm side. We can look upstream and see 2 more culverts. One for the railroad and probably the other one for a road. We'll see if we can get a better look at this. We're on the upstream side of culvert 93, Israel Creek. It's got a 20-foot span The sides had like steps coming down. Made it a lot easier to get down here. Looking through, we can see daylight. That shows us the culvert's open. Now it really flows here. As we look over across from us, we see some kind of brick structure with some concrete on top. Not sure what that was. There's the pipe too, I guess draining into the creek, or maybe it took water out of the creek for the steam locomotive at one time. We'll swing over and look through this railroad culvert and see a stone culvert beyond it for the road. That's neat, isn't it? 3 culverts in a row carrying Israel Creek. We're going to see a train go over the culvert here to Israel Creek. Going real slow, like it just started up. Looking across toward the berm side, we can see the railroad tracks with a culvert under that and water flowing through. Okay, we're gonna turn and make our way on up the towpath. As we go up the towpath, we look over and here's a path to the river, and that's mainly fishermen going out to fish. We can hear the rapids to our left, so they're probably over there trying to fish the rapids. The canal had water in it where we started. That's where we heard the peepers. Now we get up here, it looks like there's more water, but it's full of duckweed. That's that green you see. Duckweed is not algae. It's actually a little plant that floats on top of the water. It has a little crunch to it. I've heard of people feeding it to chickens. But I guess there it is for the taking, huh? Except you're not allowed to take anything on the C&O Canal. Here's another feature. It's another one of the Appalachian Trail markers. It's telling us keep going straight. Here we have a little break in the duckweed. Most of the area down below was solid green. Maybe there's a lot of fresh water coming in here. Who knows? We're at a collapsed culvert here, possibly culvert 94. Let me swing around and you can look behind me and see it flowing out to the Potomac River. Now we're going to continue our walk up the towpath. We've come up on the 340 bridge going across the Potomac. This is our turnaround spot, and we'll head back down to the parking at Weverton.